Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. That's the slogan with which Lal Bahadur Shashtri left an indelible imprint on India's public consciousness. But how are his value systems being reinterpreted in a new modern business context? Well, that's what I'm here to find out at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management in New Delhi. Established in 1995, LBSIM has a unique approach towards management education, developing professionals with a humane and pragmatic approach on the march towards corporate excellence. Strategically located at Dwarka near the Delhi Metro, the institute offers students state-of-the-art infrastructure and due recognition by AICTE and other top accrediting bodies. Joining us now to talk about how the values of Lal Bahadur Shastri are inculcated into the daily workings of the institute is Professor Arif Kumar, who is of course the director of the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management. It's a pleasure to speak to you. I want to in fact begin by asking you, how do you essentially work with the legacy of such a great man, and how is that reflected in your educational value system?
See, the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management was set up in 1995 to perpetuate the memories of the late Lal Bahadur Shastri, second Prime Minister of India, who has set up a great example, being a visionary, simple, humble, honest leader.
Yeah.
We at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management have been basically giving a value-based education. So, vision of this institution has been to create leaders for excellence in a value-based education in the field of management and information technology.
Right.
When I talk of the value-based, the greatest emphasis on ethics and the values, which takes the students to greater heights as far as the long-term attainment of corporate leadership is concerned.
Right, and tell us a little bit more about how this institute is different from other B schools.
See, the fundamental difference is we have been keeping ourselves ahead of time in terms of innovations. Innovations, be it in a pedagogy of teaching, be it in a course curriculum, be it in faculty recruitment, be it processes, be it in systems. So we would like to keep building on innovations which should take our students ahead of time.
Your focus is as much on students making a social impact as it is on them, getting into some of the biggest companies in India. How do you sort of strike that balance and achieve this?
See, we would like to have a holistic development of a student, be it inside the class or outside the class. Outside the class, students have been learning a lot through multiple clubs, be it a cultural clubs, be it a investment clubs, be it a rural immersion program. The Western style of management basically focuses on efficiency and innovation, while the Indian style of management is focusing on the values and Lok Sangha, good for all and best for the all.
Students at LBSIM can choose from a variety of management programs on offer, which include a postgraduate diploma in management general, which is LBSIM's flagship course, a postgraduate diploma in management with a specialization in finance, an executive PGDM, a part-time PGDM, and a master's in computer applications, which is affiliated with the Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in New Delhi. Over the years, it's also built partnerships with an array of international universities to collaborate on exchange programs for its students and faculty. The teaching pedagogy at LBSIM is experiential rather than theoretical. And at this corporate finance class, for instance, students are being taught about the stock markets through live examples and case studies. And I'm going to be busy trying to absorb a little bit of that.
Postgraduate diploma in management, that is 2 years full-time PGDM, that is our flagship program. Our effort is to make the student industry ready and industry relevant. LBSIM is having a rich resource in terms of faculty. Recently we conducted 3 programs for faculty development in terms of analytics and in terms of business simulations. We encourage faculty to participate in and present the research papers in various conferences, both in India and abroad. This is the way we give ample opportunity to each faculty for their development and in line or in sync with the industry.
During these 2 years at LBSIM, we teach 38 courses, and the students have to undergo a lot of rigor by way of case studies, role plays, projects, and we basically tend to teach them to how to analyze the balance sheets of a companies. At LBS, we have a system by which at least 1/3 of the curriculum is revised every year. Not only just the academic point, we get inputs internally, but we also invite people from the academia and the industry to help us design, redesign the curriculum.
What is the free cash flow?
So cash flow is a capital available to a corporate.
So once you have this idea,
Later in the day, the focus shifts to a lively, open discussion on demonetization, where students ask some rather pertinent questions.
My question is, what kind of security measures can be attached to the currency to stop the counterfeit notes?
Why post-announcement planning is creating such huge inconvenience for the public?
Prime Minister has a vision for 2018, that is to turn our economy into a cashless economy. So I just wanted to know, are there any ways to make it possible, maybe not in 2018, maybe in 10 years down the line?
8th of November, you can call it as 9/11 for India.
The idea behind this approach is to make students learn in an environment which is experiential and hands-on, and this is done using a blend of methodologies, from seminars and special lectures by industry professionals to management games and simulations.
The basic idea is to ensure that the students must have hands-on learning. The teachers and the faculty colleagues also ensure that the students, while they take the exams and other things, they also do projects side by side. Every subject which is taught in the institution has a live project associated with it.
Can I have the categorization of your website or the...
That of course is connected with the kind of data you collect from CRISIL, Prowess, Bloomberg, etc. And of course the students also add with it the practical exposure by being in part of student committees.
That will be in the market.
A great example of this is Nivesh,
If you want to know something about Tata Motors or Tata Sons,
which is a student-managed mutual fund that's part of LBSIM's finance course.
We had a set of students who were very active in setting up a portfolio for which had investment from students, and doing Nivesh or going with Nivesh helped them in understanding how to analyze the economy, how to do a fundamental analysis of the stocks, and best part is how to create a portfolio with actual money involved in it.
Nivesh is a one-year-old club. We are an investment club, and our seniors created wealth for us by investing diligently, and we are trying to do the same to create wealth for our juniors so that we set a benchmark like our seniors did.
At LBSIM, the motto is to get up to speed with all the big disruptive changes in the world. From big data to descriptive analysis, the IBM lab on campus is really the one-stop shop where students can understand the big trends that are shaping the world for tomorrow. Tell me what exactly it is that you do here and how is it helping you in terms of your course curriculum?
In IBM, what we get is hands-on experience on actual industry data. So what you get is gigabytes and terabytes of data that you actually work on in industries, and then when you work on as a student on that data, you get a lot of live industry experience which becomes really helpful in the future.
Right, big data is of course just one of the things that you learn here. What else?
The market has changed from just understanding or analyzing the customers from the big data to perhaps predicting about the future trends of the customers, and this trend is basically understood through this different analytical tools.
So tell me about the other IT infrastructure that's available to you on the campus, and also how the management courses at LBSIM integrate the technology aspect into it.
At LBSIM, the infrastructure is constantly updated to meet the dynamic needs. We're taught subjects like ERP, that is Enterprise Resource Planning, CRM, that focus on integrating technology and management and helps in better decision making in the real world. And we have an access to softwares like SPSS, which helps us in conducting many live projects that we undertake in the industry that are we are given that hands-on experience to do that. And apart from that, we have a campus-wide network with Wi-Fi access all over and LAN. It's overall a great experience wherein you get to know what the real world is like and actually working around it, and where you're technologically updated with whatever is happening constantly around you, and you have an idea of what technology you would be using actually when you are actually working as a manager.
Another key element to the pedagogy on campus is a strong interface with industry and regular interactions with the corporate world through plant visits and MOUs that propagate a cross-fertilization of knowledge.
We have signed up an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with a company called ZS Associates, a premier consulting company of the country. And we are providing education, MBA level education to their employees who are non-MBAs.
Management development programs are focusing on the development of the corporate executives. Purpose is that some of them are engineers, but they, because of various constraints, they couldn't do the management programs. These programs are generally 2 to 3 days open MDPs, where we send the invite to different corporates so they can nominate their executives for these kind of programs.
So we are changing our strategy. No longer a business school today needs to be a place where students come, study, take a placement and go back. We want a permanent relationship with companies, not just in terms of placements, but also in terms of kind of support we can provide to them.
The one thing that I like about my institute is the plethora of opportunities that it offers to all of its students.
Group of students visit different business hubs across India, so to interact with the companies directly. So that was a first-hand experience for us.
The exposure that we get, the learning that we get, it's huge, and it is much different than other institutes where you just sit in your own classrooms or in your own campus.
We also have various kind of alumni and big hotshots coming to our institute as a part of our corporate interface program.
So that's how we use our classroom learnings in practical life.
So what we'll be doing in real world in few months from now, this is just a teaser for that.
For an institute, the proof of the pudding ultimately lies in its placement prowess. And at LBSIM, the fact that nearly 100 companies come to campus every year to recruit is testimony to the value it has in the market.
We conduct an annual outreach program every year in which students visit different cities across the country and meet the HRs and invite them to the campus.
We try and organize group discussions and personal interview rounds for students on campus. Then we also involve our faculty in the same, and they help the students in giving them insights about the various companies visiting the campus. We are getting research and consultancy companies, engineering and durables, BFSI sector, FMCG.
We keep close contact with the corporate. And because we keep close contact with the corporate, we have no problem right from the first batch to 20th batch so far as placement and summer training is concerned. Because we have established a trust in the corporate. And two things have gone very strongly in the corporate. One, Lal Bahadur Shashtri Institute means hard work. Lal Bahadur Shashtri means integrity. Lal Bahadur Shashtri means academic rigor.
The students at LBSIM drive most initiatives on campus. The management grid, headed this year by a woman president, organizes the various activities on and